So the word salli in Arabic, it's a verb that depends on the thing that's being described. So for instance, if I say that ana usalli, I pray, yeah, that could mean I make dua, I pray in the sense that Muslims pray, that they whatever. It could mean that I ask for supplication. So it has an array of meanings. When it's applied to the angels, it has a different meaning. So in the case of the angels, it means supplication. In the case of Allah, when that same word is used, it means blessings, salutations, blessings, and so on. And the evidence behind that, and the evidence, remember before we were talking about, like, how do we know what the Arabic language is, and how can we prove that what I'm saying is true, for example, in Arabic language. So I said to you that we have to look at the pre-Islamic time. We also have to look at 300 years after Islam. So in other words, because the Prophet died at about 11 AH, so about 300 AH. So when we look at that, we find that in the poetry that's used, the word salli, when it's applied to Allah, even in non-religious contexts, it means praise and blessings. When I say praise, I'm talking about praising. I'm not talking about praying. Okay, so
إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. يصلون, it means to pray.
Have you got a verb called blessing in the first part of the verse?
There's only one verb.
So only one verb, and there are two subjects. Correct.
Yusallun, it means to pray. I've got an Arabic and a dictionary here. I've got it here. Yusallun, can you see?
Yep, I can see it.
What does it say here in the English?
They pray.
There you go.
Can you also write for me if it wanted to say Allah bless? Or sorry, praise.
Hamd?
Yep.
Different verb. It means he praised. You want to do it in the plural?
Yeah.
Ahmedun.
Okay. So that's very, very different than what we just saw.
It's a different verb. It's a different verb because it's a different meaning. Allah and his angels are praying upon the Prophet.
The video we watched, Dawatim was telling us the verb changes according to who is practicing that action, according to the door of the word.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Are you sure?
If I say I speak, I'm the doer, right? And then I change that to Hatun speaks. Does that change the speaking to reading or writing? It's still the same verb. Just because the doer is different doesn't mean the verb is different. I've got a grammar book here.
Okay.
And can you see the screen?
Yes.
Can you see the doer?
Yeah.
Ultimate Arabic or Arabic 101. The doer is the fa'il. I've highlighted for you. What does it say? It just means whoever made the action happen.
That same word, how can it change when it's applied to
Allah? There is only one.
Yeah, that's one word being applied to Allah and to angels. Yusalluna. It's the same. You said one word. Yeah. So when that change happens, how can it change meaning? It's the same word.
That is only
the same word for both of them.
The Arabic words in the Arabic language, like for example the word yarghabu or the word yusalli, or other words amara, ya'muru, which means to give, in its base form means to give imperative, command. It depends on the context in order for it to be explained.
But we give you the context.
No. So in other words, what I'm saying is that depending on who the fa'il is, because in Arabic language you have fi'al, which is the verb, and the fa'il is the one who is the doer. The word itself takes a different meaning. So that's my premise. My premise is in the Arabic language, and I can give you examples of that in the Quran, I can give you examples of that before the Quran, I can give you examples after the Quran, that one verb, depending on who the fa'il or the doer is, can change in meaning.
It's a false premise, as we've seen from the grammar. The doer has nothing to do with the verb. The verb doesn't change depending on who does it. He makes the point about yarghab. He says that yarghab an is being deceptive. The word yarghab means to want or desire, but in the other one it's yarghab an, which means to turn away from. It's two words together, not one. So he's just using it because he knows that you wouldn't hear the difference because you're not Arabs. But it again being deceptive. The God that revealed this, didn't he know that it would be a point of confusion if he uses the same word to pray and worship? Remember, he cares that he's the only one to be worshipped.
Yeah.
And he uses the same word of pray and worship to apply to himself. I mean, that he should have avoided that completely and used a different, like I say, a different verb. The Arabic language is full of verbs. If it sounds for any even non-Arab speakers, if it sounds like nonsense and it smells like nonsense, then it's nonsense.
So give me the Islamic source
Yeah.
that says this is saluna, this word,
Yes.
when it's used for Allah
Yes.
and when it's used for the angels,
Yes.
it's different.
Okay, there's a hadith on it.
Show us. Let's get it out.
Yeah,
Let's get
so
it
the
out.
hadith in Bukhari.
We go Bukhari,
Let's get
Yeah,
21st century.
Yeah, so that's a good
I've
question.
never ever seen you use a reference before, ever.
Let's get the reference out.
So Allah says, whoever.
No, we want the reference. We want the
What is
reference.
it?
Yes,
As
no, we want the
There are
reference.
7,299 Bukhari hadith there, okay? So which one is this?
Which
Okay,
one?
so
Sahih Bukhari.
Give
what you
us the
reference
reference.
numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Book
Go,
number,
The
hadith
numbers
number.
are different depending on the.
Right, so give us the one you know.
Give it to
Fine, let me give you the
Google. Give it
hadith
to
so you can
Google,
find
sir.
it.
No,
Give
no,
it to
no,
Google.
no.
Just Google it out.
See,
Google.
Mohammed never ever
go
gives
to
Well, I'm
reference.
about to give it to you.
Are you giving us the reference?
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Go.
give it.
So
Reference?
the reference, I'm going to give you the hadith and then you can find it yourself.
No, we want the reference.
Sahih Bukhari has
Yes,
9
Bukhari,
volumes.
you know it.
Give him all right
So
volumes.
give us the reference.
What the numbers?
10 volumes, I'm
No,
sorry.
but even though the thing is, in Arabic you don't have numbers like that.
No.
The hadith says, the hadith explains what the word salli means, respecting to Allah. It means الذكر في الملأ الأعلى. الذكر في الملأ الأعلى. That Allah أو الثناء في الملأ الأعلى, which means that it is mentioning that person's name in a higher station. So in other words, it's a praising, not praying, but praising that person. That is a hadith. That you ask for that reference.
No.
It's in Sahih
Mohammed,
Bukhari.
Mohammed,
Where do I start with the lies? That hadith doesn't exist.
Are you sure?
The closest I could find to, he said exactly, whoever prays upon the Prophet, Allah mentions him in a higher setting. Right? That's what he said.
Yeah.
He said like with the angels. The closest I could find is this hadith here.
Okay.
And all it says is, Allah says, I am as my slave expects me to be, and I am with him when he remembers me. If he remembers me inwardly, I will remember him inwardly. And if he remembers me in an assembly, I will remember him in a better assembly, i.e. the assembly of the angels. It's got nothing to do with praying upon the Prophet or sending salutations to the Prophet or anything like that. Or it doesn't explain the word praying or praising. Perfect. The guy made up a hadith on the spot, man. That hadith, I went to the libraries, online libraries, Arabic libraries for hadith.
Yeah.
I put in the keywords that he said, and all I got was 0 results, 0 results, 0 results. I've never seen this in a debate. This approach of, if you can't find a source, just make one up. This just,
but we don't know Arabic, so he's gonna make it up on the spot.
well, he said it's a well-known hadith. The bit about the higher assembly is well-known. I've heard of that hadith, but it's just all about remembering Allah. It's got nothing to do with praying on Muhammad. What is he talking about? Like, I'm just incensed. It's ridiculous. He makes up. He takes the second half of the hadith that everyone knows, and then the first part he makes up. He says, "Whoever prays on the Prophet." It doesn't say that. That doesn't exist. Prophet Muhammad, hijab, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever prays upon the Prophet, Allah mentions him in a higher setting." That doesn't exist. Oh, and by the way, the numbers. Yeah, we have numbers. Arabs are not like this backward civilization that, oh, we don't have number, we're Arab. We have numbers. Arabs have numbers, classifications.
I have to be honest with you. You guys are non-Arab speakers.
Why do you always hide behind the
You
Arabs?
don't know about the hadith.
Oh, we
You're
want
not- so-
Okay, give me your Bukhari version then.
Okay, let me get it for you.
What's the reference? He's gonna get out. Alright. So we're gonna fight about time, yeah. This is the first time I've ever seen you. We're actually gonna have a record, a world record.
By the way,
Broken in speaker school now. He's gonna give us a reference. I want to see it.
Okay, no, but we'll give it to you. Is he David the prophet?
No, let's do it.
Stop, man. You're desperate. And
Why?
stop being racist.
Godwin?
Honestly, I've watched that video. I've never seen so many lies done with such a blank, a straight face in my life. It's like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Can I just say something? The Arabic language is so rich with verbs. I just showed you the one to say praise. Why couldn't Allah just, if He meant something else, give you another verb? I mean, I thought the Quran is meant to be a miracle of the Arabic language.
So, we've got no evidence whatsoever. That's the bottom line. We've got no evidence. And this is the leader of the Islamic Dawah team. Are you not the leader of the Islamic Dawah? Oh shit, he's trying to be leader. Who's the
Once again,
Yes, you're brave, my friend.
After tomorrow.
When they're in a corner, they don't have anything to say, but they know you guys are not Arab. So, oh, you're not Arab. You don't understand, and walk away.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. These days are over. This is not gonna work anymore.